in today's video, we're going to be taking you through the 6 basic steps you need to take when analysing your FBA deals. So welcome back to the channel. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're not already doing so. In today's video, we're just going to cover the 6 basic steps that you need to be taking when you're analysing your FBA deals. So knowing how to successfully analyse your FBA deals is the key to becoming successful on Amazon. If you don't know how to do this, it can be a real struggle and you can quite easily lose money. It is really easy to do, however, and following these 6 basic steps, you can't really go wrong. So I'm going to be showing you these steps on an actual live deal. I'm just going to share my screen with you now, and you should be able to see these Hot Wheels CKJ81 Star Wars toy. It's currently selling on Amazon for £11.99. Now we can buy this toy for £4.99 on the website A1 Toys. So on the surface, this looks like a really good buy. So the first step that we need to look at is just the core data, really, which is firstly profit. So let's head back over to Amazon here and we'll load up the Profitl Chrome extension. So we're buying it for £4.99. So step 1 is it profitable? So this product here is making £2 per unit. If we're buying it for £4.99 and we're selling it for £11.99 with these fees just here, we've got roughly £2 profit. Now most sellers aim for about 30%, so we've got a bit of leeway there as well. Obviously the higher you can get, the better. But this first part here with how profitable is it, yes, this ticks that box. So the second basic part is it actually selling? So yes, we can see that this one is selling between 30 to 90 units a month at the moment. Now some people will just use the Amazon sales rank here just to confirm this. Now we know this isn't a good category, it's in the toys and games category here. But using this, you can see that it's estimated sales between 30 to 90 a month. Now what we will do is we will just double check this data using the price graph. So we get the option of a 90-day, 180-day and a 365-day price graph. So next up, we need to have a quick look to see if we actually can sell it. What does that actually mean? It means, are we gated in it or not? Now, if you don't know what being gated means, that basically means that you're not allowed to sell it without permission from Amazon. So there's 2 types of gating on Amazon. You've either got brand gating or category gating. Now I have done a video on this previously where I showed how to get ungated, which I'll just link in the top right hand side of the screen. But obviously if we are gated in this product, that means we can't sell it, or we'll have to do some work to get ourselves gated. So what we'll do is we'll head over to Amazon. Now we just need the ASIN as well. So this is on Amazon seller account here, and we'll go to add a product. So straight away we can see that we are gated in this one. Now this is just on a test account I've got, and it's not a live one. But if we was to have a quick look at this, so it says new and it says applied to sell. So applied to sell there, that means it is gated, so we couldn't sell this product. Now, if we click onto this is gated in the Hot Wheels brand. So it's not a category gating, it's a brand gating. Now, it isn't that difficult to get ungated in categories or brands, but it does just mean that you do need to do some work. So immediately right now, we wouldn't be able to buy this product because obviously we couldn't send it in. It probably takes a couple of weeks to get yourself ungated in a certain category, but it's really important to be checking whether you can sell it right at the start before you do too much analysing, because the last thing you want to be doing is spending a large amount of time looking at all the data to then go and buy the product and realise that you can't actually sell it. So it's really important to check after you've checked the sales, after you've checked it's profitable, make sure that you check and you can actually sell it. Now we are just going to skip this and imagine that we can sell this so we can move on to step 4 in this video. So the next thing we want to be checking is how many other sellers are there and how much stock do they have. Now this is obviously important because that is your competition, and the thing is with Amazon FBA is competition is very fierce, and the last thing you want to be doing is competing against a huge amount of sellers or sellers who have a huge amount of stock. So there's 2 things we're going to be doing here. Firstly is just checking the types of sellers on the listing. So if we just head over to the Profitl Chrome extension, we can see right now Amazon aren't on this listing, which are great. There are 4 FBA sellers, so fulfillment by Amazon sellers. These are the ones you're going to be competing with, and there's 3 FBM sellers. Now this is absolutely fine. Under 5, not a problem whatsoever. Over 5 to 10, it needs to be a good buy really. Anything over 10, it needs to be a really good buy. But this one, 4 other FBA sellers, we can 100% compete on that. So now we need to have a look to see how much stock they've got. Now, there's a free Chrome extension we use, which is called the Online Seller Add-on. I'll put a link to it in the description, and all you have to do is just click here and wait for the data to load. So now the data's loaded and we can see there's 171 in stock in total, but the really good thing about this product is that almost all of the stock is with an FBM seller, A1 Toys, who actually is where we're going to be buying it from as well. The only ones we're really taking any notice of is these FBA sellers here. So these 4 FBA sellers, so this top one here has 5 in stock, this one here has 3 in stock, this one here has 2 in stock, and this one here has 1 in stock. Now, we're not worried about the FBM sellers because Amazon will always favor FBA sellers. So this is really promising because these other sellers don't have a huge amount of stock. Because the issue is, if you're competing with other FBA sellers who have a lot of stock, you know, they've got a lot more in line. They're also probably going to be buying it for cheaper because obviously they're getting volume discounts as well. So the fact that these 4 other sellers only have 10 items or 11 items in total, that's a really promising sign, and that backs up that so far this is looking like a really good product. So step 5 in analysing our FBA deal is looking at the price graphs. Now this is probably the most important one, if anything, because we use it to, as I said earlier, to just to confirm it is selling, and secondly to make sure we're not going to get undercut or reduce the chances of getting undercut, or just looking at the history of the price, who's been on the listing, whether Amazon have been on the listing. So what we're going to do is head over to Profitl and just click the 365-day graph here. So now we've got the graph up, we're going to be looking at 2 lines, the sales rank line, which is the green one, and the buy box line, which is the pink one. So we'll start with the sales rank line, which we're just using to confirm it's selling. Now, the basic way of looking at this is that typically a drop in the line will indicate a sale. So obviously, as you can see, it's going up here, it's not been selling, then it's dropped, and then it's been going up, drops. Is typically indicating sales. Now this isn't an exact science because there's many things which can affect this line, but the movement in the line indicates sales typically. Now we can see that more recently it's definitely been selling more, hence it's been lower and the movement has been a lot higher. On these long arches here, this probably means a period of slower sales, but just recently it's been selling more, which is a really good sign. So we can back up that this probably is selling, I reckon, between 30 to 50 units a month, which marries up with this data here. Now what we're going to be looking at is the buy box line. Now we're using this to check about getting undercut and just to see who's been on the listing. So the first thing we're looking for is whether Amazon had been on this listing in the last year, and we can see they haven't been. If Amazon were on the listing, there would be an orange highlighted line, not this orange line here, that just means an FBA seller. The whole area would be highlighted so that we can see within the last year Amazon haven't been on the listing, so that's a great sign. Now, Amazon being on the listing isn't a deal breaker whatsoever, but the issue is with Amazon, obviously they've got such more scope to have a very low price, and they're very hard to compete with. Now you can compete with them, and they will share the buy box as well, but you just need to have a really high selling, profitable item to be doing that. If Amazon had been on this listing, we may back out of it, mainly because the profit isn't huge. Obviously 40% return on investment is great, but it's only a £2 profit because obviously it's not a very high buying price, so it doesn't leave us a huge amount of, you know, scope to sort of change our price and move around. But the fact Amazon haven't been on this listing is great. Now what we're actually looking at is over the last year is what the prices can be. Now it's slightly alarming the fact that this price has gone for a period of £6, but it was for a period of perhaps 2 weeks, and its average price has probably been about £11. So there was quite a long period here of the product being about £10, and then this time last year it went for about 8 months of probably being about £12 to £12.50. Now because this product has been cheaper, and obviously because it has spent a period of around £10 where it would probably just be about break even for us, we would have to think very carefully about going for this deal. Now personally, because it's quite a low cost item, it would probably be worth going for it. If you're new to FBA, you may want to stay away from a graph like this. You know, we can see that other people are willing to drop it down to £10, and if we put the price to £10 down in here, you know, we can see that the profit is only 38p. So you really have to be weighing up the pros and cons. But obviously, if you're in a more fortunate position where you don't need to sell it so quickly, you know, you can probably hold out for a slightly higher price. Now, the only ones you do really want to avoid is if the price has been really low the whole time. So for example, if this product had been, you know, this price, so £6 for, you know, a period of 6 months, and within the last couple of months, the price has increased, they're the sort of ones where you probably want to stay away from. The positive with this one is obviously that the £6 here was for a very short amount of time, so it's probably not anything to be too concerned about. Obviously it has been £10 as well, but the average price has been about £11, and with the fact that there's not much stock with the other sellers, there's definitely great scope that if we sent this in to Amazon's, that we could sell it for about £12 without too much issue. So the sixth and final part that we're going to be looking at once we're happy with all the data is if there's any warnings that we need to be aware of. Now obviously you don't have to do these in these steps, you know, you can do them alongside each other, but just for this video obviously it's a bit easier to break them down into steps. So this last one is about the warnings on Profitl. So there's 3 warnings really that you'll be looking at, only 2 mean too much in this case. So we've got IP risk, Hazmat and Oversized. Now what does each of them mean? So IP risk, that means intellectual property risk, and it basically means that you could get an intellectual property violation for selling this product. Now it's not guaranteed, but it's just a risk, just to give you a warning that this brand may not want you selling their product. So it's very important to remember that just because you can sell it on Amazon, because you might not be gated, doesn't mean that brand actually wants you doing it. So if this comes up in red here, this is just something we'd look into a bit more detail. An IP violation on an Amazon account is not good at all, especially if you're new. So you probably want to be staying away from these, or at least being very careful. So the next warning we're looking at is Hazmat. So this basically means it's a hazardous material. It's in Amazon's sort of dangerous goods category. This is typically things with batteries, like battery packs, can be like nail varnish, you know, items with chemicals and things like that. Most products won't be like this, but it's just another thing to bear in mind. You do have to be a part of the Hazmat program in order to sell them. So, you know, you don't want to be buying a product, go and send it into Amazon's warehouse and then realising you can't because you're not allowed. So that's just why you want to be checking this one. And then finally is the oversized warning. This one you don't have to worry about too much. Obviously, if you get an oversized item, you should still be able to send that into Amazon's warehouse. The only thing to bear in mind is that the FBA fees might be massively increased, and also the storage fees as well are very high on large items. So if you've got an item which is a bit more of a slower mover, just bear that in mind, because you might be being charged a bomb for just keeping it in Amazon's warehouse. So those are the 6 main things that you should be checking when analysing your FBA deals. Now there are a few smaller things as well which you may want to look at, you know, such as product reviews, how many reviews it's got, its star rating, because you don't want products with high return rates. You will find as you analyse more FBA deals, it will just become second nature, really. You'll be able to spot out a good deal just like that, and you'll be able to weed out a bad one as well, just from looking at the surface data. So I hope you liked that video and found it helpful. Please do like and subscribe if you've not already done so yet. I'll be doing more and more videos like this, and make sure to check out all my old ones as well. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.